Warning, this content is for entertainment and educational purposes only. What's up, everybody?
How's it going?
Morning.
Good. We were off last week. I actually took a day off, which turned into an entire work day. Just gave me more time to work. Wasn't even. I got everybody's prepping right now. I got a couple of guys competing every weekend at this point.
I feel you. It's a busy time. It's exciting though. I like that time.
Yeah. No, I enjoy it too. It's fun seeing guys compete. Especially, I got a lot of guys that are first time competitors. So, first time competitors. I mean, it's just like, let's just get you on stage. Let's make sure you don't feel like absolute dog shit.
No.
Make sure you can kind of pose. You get through the process. It's funny though. Like I have to manage expectations with guys all the time. Like a lot of guys they're so amped up and ready to go for the show. Everybody gets upset when they're not in first place.
Yeah.
I don't remember who it was I heard say it, but and it's so true. There's only one happy person at a bodybuilding show, and that's the guy in first place.
Yeah, that's so true. Yeah, you get to play psychologist quite a bit.
Yeah, I mean, I only won one overall my entire bodybuilding career, and that was the national show.
Right.
It's good one to win an overall in, but that's the only time. My first show I got fifth or sixth. No, I think I got last place. 6 out of 6. That was terrible. But I mean, that's just part of the journey. So that I don't know. That's why I tell guys just to focus on the personal journey. It's about being the best version of you that you can, and don't get too obsessed with the placings. The only variables you can control is how you prep and your presentation. The rest is kind of up to fate, who shows up, things like that, what the judges think. And sometimes guys just don't have the genetics or the structures to place high, but that doesn't mean you can't go out there and have fun and have a personal challenge and make the most out of it and enjoy the ride. I mean, pretty much all my friends have come from competing in bodybuilding. That's the crazy thing. Like, it's just, there's so many other benefits to it other than just where you place on stage. Right. I know that sounds, woo-woo and shit, but that's my thought process on it.
Well, you got to get happy with kind of the progression. Like you said yourself, you started at the bottom and just slowly kept chipping away, and that's progress itself.
Yeah, I mean, I got a little better each show. And then I took a step back, and then I got a little better again. I mean, it just happens. I had that one show where I really over dieted, chasing being the most shredded I could possibly be, and end up looking like I escaped a forced labor camp. So I mean, there's that experience too. But I think you need to go through all of it to kind of figure it out. And I don't know, that's kind of the thing that I am constantly playing with people. Like, it's like, can you be a little bit leaner? Probably, but is it going to affect your placing that much? Is it going to make you sick? Is it going to you're going to feel terrible when you get up there? So these are other things we have to consider too.
Yeah,
there is a human being at the other end of that prep.
Right.
I was actually surprised yesterday to see how many people from the pro show were lined up to get their judge feedback, and a couple people were really not happy with the way they placed. You figure at that level, I don't know. I was surprised.
Oh yeah, man, I've seen some
the judges.
Right.
Ultimately they weren't happy with their placing, and they were kind of ticked off. And the line to talk to the judge and get your feedback was, I mean, it seemed every competitor was in it. It seemed like.
Oh man, I remember, was it 2 years ago at the Arnold one? Milos was not happy with how Samson placed, and he was out there just screaming at Tyler Mannion. I mean, just screaming at him. Yeah, I'm sure.
He wasn't the only one who thought he should have won that show either. But
yeah, I mean, I don't know. Man, it's you're just in that's an unenviable position. Being, I don't know how the judges do it, man. You're sitting there all fucking day long. That is a long ass day.
Yeah.
And it's just so subjective. Like, I mean, do you really think they're giving much scrutiny to the guys in the second call outs?
No.
No, I don't. I think they just, they're really paying attention to the first call outs. And even then they run through people so fast especially at the amateur shows.
Yeah.
If you notice the expediter backstage, I don't know, I don't know how the whole judge process works, but they seem to kind of cue the judges in on where people should be lined up, and they get them sort of lined up in the order they think they're going to place. It's and I was, it was funny. Like after my show last year, I remember one of the officials told me, "Is like, we saw you check in, and you had your tank top on," and we were like, "You're going to win unless you seriously fuck up your peak." I'm like, okay. So, I mean, yeah, they see everybody in advance. That's why you kind of got to be mindful of how you look backstage. What's up, Mr. Sugar Diet?
Yeah.
Can you hear us?
Chase is looking sweet.
Bob. There you go.
up?
What's up, man? Dude, I completely forgot when I told you yesterday that I'm gonna be at a car show today, so I'm at a car show.
Oh, don't worry about it. It's no big
I was
deal.
like, oh shit, I completely forgot. No, it's cool though. Like is my connection all right? You guys hear me okay?
It's a little laggy. We got the king of carbs himself on, so we don't need you, Chase.
The originator of the all
Okay.
carb diet, apples
the
all day long.
The originator of super high carb diets.
Oh, I was wondering.
Yeah.
So, were you only eating sugars, or were you not eating sugar?
Only
It was
eating
only
sugar.
Ah, okay. Then let me get it.
Yeah, it's we were
Yes.
talking about it before we got it. We was just serious. We got
Only
a big lag.
sugar, but
We got a big lag with you, Chase. I think it's way behind.
sorry. Yeah,
Like
sorry.
talking to someone on the moon.
Yeah.
So, what's the weather
Yeah.
like on Mars, man?
I know, right? Sorry. Yeah, it's bad. I've got
Yeah,
no connection here.
yeah. This might not work, man. We can talk about the sugar
So-
diet without you.
That's okay. Yeah, that's all right. Anyways, see you guys later.
All right, man. Later.
Good, Jason.
Yeah, the audience would not like the lag.
What's up, Roman? How you doing, buddy?
Let me set up real quick.
Yeah, I mean, so the whole sugar diet thing. It's Mark Bell's been talking nonstop about it. It's been his big thing lately. The part that cracks me up is this is stuff that we've known for a long time. It's essentially what we do with carbohydrate cycling. Bodybuilders have been doing this forever. It's where you'll have days where you keep your protein more moderate or lower and push the carbohydrates higher. Simple sugars are often in play, and then you end up having a metabolic effect from it. I mean, Roman can attest to it. It's your metabolism will just spin up as you push the carbs up.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you just fine.
Ah,
Yeah.
great. Okay, so, yeah, and then I just had a client of mine. He's doing he's dieting. I gave him a high day yesterday, and he was down 2 pounds.
Yeah, I see it all the time.
Yeah.
I see it all the time. If they're metabolically healthy, I think that's the key thing. It's interesting because Mark was anti carbs forever, and then now he's king carb, going back the other direction. I don't know. It's funny. People seem to swing from one extreme to the other with this stuff. But yeah, I mean, the gist of it, from what I understand, is it's what is it? FGF21, right? Is the peptide that your body releases, and it's sort of when you're on a high sugar or high carbohydrate day, and what it does is increase mitochondrial efficiency, and you end up in a state where there's sort of an effect of mitochondrial uncoupling. You can feel it when you have that high day and you get super hot. You can feel your body temperature go up.
Yeah.
Well, metabolically, just like my off season, Paul, last year, I mean, you had me at 3 high days a week, and I just couldn't. All I did was speed my metabolism up more and more.
Yeah, and that's what you'll see. It's like throwing coal on the fire if you get people rolling. I've had multiple people that I've done with diets. I was just talking to one of my clients yesterday. He said when he came to me, he was eating 1,500 calories a day and not losing weight. And over the past 2 years, we've worked his food up. And I got the dude up to eating 1,000 grams of carbs on his high days and 500 to 600 on his medium days, and he can't gain weight at that.
Yeah, but here's the thing: people think that's going to work overnight, right?
No, it takes time.
Over the past 2 years, we worked him up.
Yeah.
Well, that's a lot. Like, I'm a prime example too, Paul, with working with you. When we started, we had to be pretty conservative with carbs, especially, and then using more carbs, utilizing the carbs. It's not just a matter of eating them and consuming carbs. You're actually got to utilize that fuel. And then maybe in about 2 years, I was eating more than double the amount I could work with before,
Forgotten Friends that I load 1,500 to 2,000 grams for almost a week to meet for a strength. I'm assuming he's a bodybuilder or a power lifter.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, and it is a slow incremental thing. I'll slowly just start ratcheting people up over a period of time. And it seems, and what I'll notice too is as you get deeper into contest prep, if you start pushing up those high days, that the metabolism seems to kick up even further. And now that's not true in everybody. There are some people that are, just have stubborn bodies, and we have to be, I speculate that it has to do with insulin resistance and metabolic disorders and things like that. But that would be my guess what's going on. But if, in my case last year for my show, I was doing, I was at the limit of what I could eat. I was doing 2,000 grams of carbs on peak week on my high days, and I just could not eat anymore without my stomach getting fucked up.
Yeah, you ever had a tough time filling out too?
I was flat show day.
Yeah. I'm sure like even like Roman's seen this, I've seen the same thing with people. It's just, like I said, it is really like you can take that long approach of just slowly adding in food, but then you do have to have those other lulls where you have the low days where you're not just hammering more food all the time throughout the week. Like I think what's worked for someone like myself is having these super high days and keep ratcheting them up. And then we have the low days as low as possible, as low as needed, just to, keep protein in and a little bit of fats and keep the carbs low. It's just a matter of if you don't fuel the car, if you're not going to use it, that day.
Yeah, I think that's true. Like you have to
Even if it's just for, sorry.
Oh no, that's it.
Go ahead.
No, that was it.
Well,
Just that you've got to have the muscle to fill. Like I'm sure Paul's client who can eat way more carbs now also has a lot more muscle than he had when you guys were working together.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
And then the high and low days, even if it's just for giving your digestion a break.
Yeah, that's huge for me.
Because if you were to do 1,000 grams every day, you're gonna feel it. And then after a while, you just need even a fast for 20 hours, 18 hours, something like that. Just skip a few meals,
Yeah, and then do all these high carbs while you're training. You're going to kind of eventually look forward to actually the low days more than those high days sometimes, at least for me.
Yeah.
Weren't you doing intermittent fasting, Roman? Like I thought I recall you saying that you were taking 1 day a week and then using some metformin and fasting.
I still do that. 1 day a week on a rest day. I'll sleep in as long as possible. And then I do all the physical therapy. I schedule all that on the rest day, So I sleep in as long as possible. Then at 2 p.m, I get a massage, physical therapy, whatever. E-stim, blah, blah, chiropractor. And then my last meal, or my only meal before bed is going to be 300 grams of carbs and like 60 grams of protein. And that's all I eat on that day. And then the next day it's back to 1,300.
Yeah, that's what I was doing last year. I would do a 24-hour fast. I would just eat one meal on my low day, and I would go just get a giant steak and a couple plain baked potatoes. That's what I would do. That was kind of my thing.
I just laughed.
Yeah, I always do just steak and rice.
Steak and rice, yeah, that works.
I just laugh because Roman's one meal is some people's low days when it comes to carbs.
or more than some people's low days.
It is
More
a
than
low
my
day.
low day right now for carbs. I'll tell you that much. Yeah.
Nick was saying 2,000 grams a day. That's probably something like where sugar diet refeed makes sense. Yeah, I mean, what's that, like 20 cups of? Yeah, no, I'm trying to think. There's 2 cups of rice. That's like 40 cups of rice, right? If you did it all from rice.
Yeah.
There's no fucking way you're eating that much rice, so it has to be from sugar.
I did from August of 2022 until December of 23. I did 15 shows. You know.
Wow.
And by the 13th show, I was up to, when I loaded for the show, 3 days of 2,500 carbs.
Oh my god!
So I started 3 days out, and then I did 2,500, 2,500, 2,500, and then the McDonald's in the morning. You know.
That's great.
How does
But
The
it started.
method.
It started. Yeah, of course. But it started with 1 day of 1,200, and then maybe a day of like 1,000. And then the next show I did a little bit more, and then the next show I did a little bit more, and then I was to, but that was the max. Like 7,500 carbs over 3 days was like.
Yeah, I remember hearing some stories about Dennis Wolf doing some pretty crazy carb ups. Where I think it was Chad Nichols that was working with him. They would have him push the carbs like crazy high.
Milos.
Was it Milos? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I know Milos likes the carbs and insulin.
What do you do for digestion though, Roman? Like you just kind of rough it through those high days and then just look forward to your low day and that keeps you in check? Or are you doing anything like digestive enzymes or anything to help out?
I do the pepsine and betaine caps.
Uh-huh.
You know?
Yeah, betaine or whatever.
And I do apple cider vinegar helps.
Mm-hmm. Nice.
Ginger helps, like ginger root, and coffee helps.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why, but it helps.
Mm-hmm.
And I never used to get digestive enzymes, but my sponsor has some, so I just order them and take them. But I gotta be honest, I don't feel a difference.
Yeah.
So,
This is what I've learned. Oh, go ahead.
Do you think the betaine works?
yes,
I've heard
I
that
feel that.
suggested as a kind of helps with gas and stuff when you're on having the big volume of food.
I think it helps me. I feel it when there's a lot of protein to digest. So I definitely take it with every meat meal. If I do a shake, I don't throw in
Yeah.
But with everything that has like chicken, steak, fish, stuff like that, definitely. 600 milligrams of betaine HCl, and there's always pepsine added to it. I don't know how much pepsine they add. But it's the orange brand. You guys have that in the US too. The orange. Yeah. It's on Amazon.
Yeah. I know what you're talking about. Now or something like that.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, now. Yep. Yeah, that's the brand that I get. What I have noticed with the digestive enzymes is that if you look at the actual amount that you need for the food that you eat, you're like really underdosed. Mm-hmm. You have to get the specific enzymes. Like if you're eating carbs, I think it's amylase is the one that you need for carbohydrates, and you need a lot of them to really have any sort of effect. And it's protease for protein, and you need a ton for them to actually work. Is what I've seen.
Yeah. Then if you have a blend. it won't work because
Nope.
the pills are so small, and then it's just like pixie dusting.
No, it
Have you
doesn't
guys
do
ever
anything.
tried Masszymes? It's a
What is
brand, Masszymes.
No.
Yeah, it seems
Say again.
pretty good. That's the brand name is Masszymes. I think that's the company.
Yeah, I heard of it because Pekulski promoted.
Yeah.
We used to promote it.
Yeah.
Roman, been meaning to ask you, how's the we were talking before, how's the lower body coming along with your training? You've been able to kind of get back to 100% or what?
No, not 100%, but it's getting there.
Yeah.
I'm like on the hack squat. I'm like, I'm like 66%.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
And what do you have trouble with strength, building your strength back up, or you just get some pain or whatnot?
No, absolutely no pain. That's great.
Yeah.
No pain whatsoever. No knee pain, no hip pain, nothing. It's just not really that. I mean, the surgery was in January.
Yeah.
So
recent.
Yeah. So 3.5 months ago. So January
Wow.
15th was the surgery. And yeah, it's going pretty good.
Good.
I'm in rehab. I'm in rehab mode too. Got the bicep tendon reattached.
Oh yeah.
How's that going?
It feels great. It feels better than it did before the surgery, but I can't put any weight on it yet. So I was told at 8 weeks, which is 2 more weeks, I could use a 5-pound dumbbell.
Hey, progress is progress.
They put me on the bands yesterday at physical therapy, so I was using the pink bands. That was some progress.
Yeah.
That's probably the
what's
same
your-
advice they give a 50 or 70-year-old grandma too. So
Yeah, I know. They just don't want to get sued. That's part of it too. I probably could push it a little bit more. What are you planning to compete this year, Roman, or are you taking the year off?
Depending on how good it goes after the Olympia, because there are, I think, 6 shows after the Olympia. There's Romania, there's one in Mexico, there's Prague, there's Japan again. Of course, I'm pretty sure there's a Spain one because there's Spain shows like every 2 months for the pros. And then, yeah, if I compete, it's going to be after the Olympia.
Gotcha.
I just listened to Ryan's episode on Think Big Bodybuilding.
Oh, yeah.
That was
Oh, you were on there with those guys?
Yeah.
No. Yeah, he was on. I was just listening.
Yeah.
Did you guys get into the whole story, Ryan?
Yeah.
It blows my mind every time I hear it.
Yeah.
I know. Wow.
Thanks for watching. That was an interesting one because Dave has some interesting takes. So, like, we were on there with Dave too. And,
Crossland, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Dave wasn't Dave in prison? Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
And that's also what he does, like semi-professionally, is he defends. He's a professional witness in court.
For
steroid cases. So he like sees it all the time.
Well, that's crazy.
Yeah.
So you guys have a lot of similarities.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was interesting.
And Marty sent me a bunch of T-shirts of thanks, Marty. Appreciate that. I don't fit them right now. The 2XLs look big. It's funny. The shirts that were tight on me last year are loose now. That's bodybuilder hell.
Yeah.
keep 2 sets of clothes.
Yeah. Well, it's funny. I went away for the weekend and I haven't worn like jeans in a while. And I threw a bunch of jeans I thought would fit in my bag. And I just like 2 weeks ago switched my diet up a little bit just to get like 20 weeks out, start getting ready to prep. I'll start kind of ratcheting things up for a show soon. I should go to put them on. I needed a belt. They were just like falling off. All the water weight that just comes off, like on that initial diet change. It's frustrating. So I'm sitting there going, like pulling up my pants the whole time, or looking for a piece of string. I'm like, this is not gonna work.
Dave always drops weight quickly, man. It's always surprises me when we take out one high day and then he drops like 10 pounds.
Yeah. It's weird. Some people, carry a lot of water weight. Like I'll drop it real quick in a couple of weeks, and then it gets right on track to that.
Then it levels out. Yeah.
I guess it is what it is. But I keep my blood pressure in line. I keep all those factors that you'd want to keep in mind with, carrying a little extra water weight. So it doesn't seem to bother me, where some people struggle with it. You know what I mean? So
it's wild seeing the difference between different people. How they carry water. Like there's some guys that it's just a challenge getting them dried out going into shows. I mean, it's just, and then other people, it's like nothing. Like I stay dry. I usually don't have a problem staying dry. But some people, they even look at carbohydrates, their water bags.
Yeah. I see it a lot with some guys that work like the physical jobs. Their weight as they go down will just kind of bounce up and down from being, their work. A lot of they'll hold
probably inflammation.
Yeah, but if you really look through the line of their weight, their trend, it's consistent. But they'll be up and down 4 pounds, up and down all the time.
I got to run, guys. I'm going to head down to prejudging.
All right, Mike. Have
fun.
Have a good one.
Bye.
Good, Mike.
Yeah, Mike's at the Legion Pro watching that.
Cool.
That was a show I was thinking about doing.
Of course, it's stress for some people. They just hold water from stress.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that interview with Chris Aceto this week, and he was talking about how some people can just stress themselves out of a placing. They just get so worked up that they will just mess their entire peak week up just from being stressed out.
Yeah,
I get those guys on prep sometimes, the ones that'll be texting me every 15 minutes.
Yeah.
What about this? What about that? What about this? What about that? And I'm like, dude, just fucking smoke a joint and go watch some Netflix.
Yeah.
Seriously, man, just chill out.
Yeah. And it's funny, as you get closer to the show as a coach, there's only so much you can do the closer and closer you get anyways, other than just keep people's minds right. I mean, a lot of the work has to be done early on.
Yeah, I just try on peak week. I try to just reassure people and keep them calm because the more they stress out, the worse it's going to be. And, first shows are going to be stressful, but after that, it shouldn't be, I don't know. We were talking about it earlier, Roman. There's we have a friend of ours that he just competes all the time. He does tons of shows. And I know there's that philosophy. I think Milos talked about it, where if you want to get better at competing, you got to compete more. And I mean, that makes total sense to me. But I know you're a guy that competes a lot. How do you handle that, competing all the time like that?
I don't think about it. I just do it.
Yeah,
I don't stress. I don't stress. If I'm in shape and I know what to do, I just repeat.
Yeah,
I repeat my routine every time I get there. When I go on stage, it almost feels like a guest posing now. I've practiced posing so much at this point that it's not even exhausting, because I do like 3 rounds of posing after every time I train. And then when I get on stage, you maybe do 3 rounds the whole prejudging. Yeah. But it's not after a training session. So you're fresh, that's easy. And then you just wash off the tan, go to the next show 1, 2, 6 weeks later, whenever it is, and do it again.
Yeah, that's critically important. I tell the posing stuff, I tell guys all the time, start posing. I do when prep, I'll do 3 rounds after every training session. And then that way, when you're up on stage, you're on autopilot. You're not thinking about it. It's easy. There were some guys last year when I was going to some of these national shows that were just sweating and gassed out after 2 rounds in prejudging. It was crazy. like, Jesus Christ, man, have you been doing any cardio? You've been doing any posing? Or are they just that tense? I don't know.
Well, it's definitely the other half of it. It's not just nailing your posing with the visuals. It's, can you withstand, if they want to put you out there for 5 rounds and run you, are you going to be able to take it? You know what I mean?
I think another thing too is guys get too tight up on stage.
Yeah. And the one thing I hate is everyone, it drives me nuts. You'll practice, and then people will just flex so hard on show day and they start shaking. It's like
they flex extra hard because they're nervous.
Yeah.
And they think they're going to get like an extra 1/4 inch out of their bicep peaks by going 100%. It's like, I usually try to say, set up your shot, feel the shot, and just give it a small squeeze of, like 80% of your flexing capacity. You know what I mean? Yeah.
And if you know how to pose, you realize that most of the time there are muscles you don't even have to flex.
Yeah. Just
For
like
example,
myself.
it doesn't matter how hard you squeeze your arms in a back double bicep. If you just hold it like this, flex your back, your arms are right there because they're you don't have to flex until you shake like that,
Yeah.
Same thing on that was one I struggle with on the side shots, with tightening my hamstrings up, and that just makes them look worse.
Yeah. Well, like my midsection on all my front shots, the less I flex my front half, like I'll flex in my biceps, or I'll try to lift my chest up and squeeze there. But the more I kind of like let it hang and get a sheet for my like abs, the better they look. The harder I try to flex, it all congeals together. It doesn't look right. And it doesn't look right. It might look a little more, have more pop, but it's not pretty by any means.
The worst prejudging I had to go through was at the World Amateur Championships. They had 9 judges, and every judge gets his own call out. So I had to do 9 call outs in a row.
Oh my gosh.
9 rounds. I was like, and I was 21 years old. I didn't know because I came from the German teenage nationals where they do like 1 round, So I'm doing 9 rounds there, and by the 5th round, I'm like, when does it stop? Everyone is sweating, almost dying. We're like, oh, that was tough. 9 rounds in a row. Since then, I'm terrified. That's why I practice posing.
That is, I've never heard of that many rounds at a show. Although they ran Nick and Derek through it at Pittsburgh a few weeks ago. They definitely worked them hard.
Yeah, we got to ask you, Roman. What do you think about that? With were you thinking that the judges got it right with Derek versus Nick there? I mean, I'm on the camp of I thought Nick should have won, but it was close enough.
It was close. You could have given it to both.
You got to put you on the spot.
No, it's a comparison of just. It probably was close in the judging as well, right?
Yeah.
They were tied on. They were tied on the scorecards.
Yeah. So when you're looking at it, it's like, do you want like sheer brutal mass, or do you want Derek's more pleasing looking, polished body?
Yeah.
And then probably like Vol decided for Derek.
Yeah.
Yeah,
probably just
on
came
that
down
day.
to what they wanted to see on that day. Sometimes when it's that close, it's just that kind of judges prefer a certain look versus the next. I mean, we all have our preferences,
Well, ultimately, they're both in the Olympia now, so I think that was the desired result, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Nick won the fall.
You know, some people say, "Oh, it was politics that Derek won," and I think it was the exact opposite. If it was politics, Nick would have won.
Mhm.
Because, first of all, that would make the Pittsburgh Pro a more prestigious show than the Arnold Classic. You know? And it would make a way better story for the Olympia coming up if Nick had beaten Mr. Olympia and Mr. Arnold Classic.
Right.
And now we basically know that Nick is not going to beat Derek. That's what we expect to see, right?
Right.
Yep.
So if it was politics and if it was marketing and everything, they would have let Nick win.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that what are there 7 judges? Like, how do you get 7 people to agree on anything? Right.
Exactly. Yeah. Or 5.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe 7, 5. I don't know.
I think they throw out they throw out the high and low score. Yeah.
Yeah. I think with 7, they throw out 2 highs and 2 lows.
I don't remember what it
Maybe?
is.
No,
Yeah,
they'd have
with
5 scores.
With
and
5, they only throw.
well, if there's 7, they'll keep 5 scores and they get rid of the highest and the lowest, I believe.
Yeah, but with 5, they're going to keep 3.
I don't know how it works.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know how it works. But yeah, that's I don't know. I don't buy into the whole politics thing. And at the end of the day, it is somebody's opinion.
Yeah.
Mhm.
One of my competitors made a good point that we were talking the other day, and he goes, I think a lot of people really thought Nick won too because you haven't seen him in so long. So when you get that freak factor and that wow factor that he has, and it's been a year and a half, and he was improved from New York, you're wowed, and you just saw Derek the other day, so you're a little desensitized to it like the week before, or a couple of weeks before, whatever it was.
Well, I mean, Derek was a little off from where he was at the Arnold. He wasn't as, I didn't think he was as crisp as he was at the Arnold, but Nick looked great, and Nick even looked even better at the New York Pro, I thought.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
And I know he seemed to have things dialed in this year. From what I understand, he was healthier, felt better. Everything was lined up really well for him this year. I know he had some injuries and stuff before that he had to overcome.
Yeah. Yeah, it was getting when I was watching the kind of following Nick's prep too. It was just interesting to see how much weight he held, and then the last second he dive bombs right into the show. I was sitting there thinking, I'm like, when are you going to start getting lean? Not that he wasn't lean, but it was definitely different approach, I thought, from what I followed.
Well, it's probably water. A big guy like that sometimes going to hold a lot of water.
Yeah, yeah,
and it's that's the issue. Sometimes it's hard to tell what's water and what's fat.
Yeah, very true.
Yeah, I've been working with, I talk about it every week, but I've been doing a mentorship with AJ Sims, and it's interesting to see how he brings people in. It's been a fun journey working with him and learning his process of getting people ready a couple weeks early and then just drying them out going into shows. He's really good at it.
Now, does he write out people's specific foods, or does he kind of do a little?
Yeah, I mean, he's very meticulous with the diets. He tells you exactly what to eat, how much sodium to use, the whole 9 yards, all the supplements to use, when to use everything. I mean, he's very detail oriented. Like, I don't get that nitty gritty with things with people until the end. Like at the peak week, I will. Last couple of weeks, we'll tighten things up. But until then, I'm doing macros.
Yeah,
it depends on the client.
Yeah, that's a part of it too.
I'm sure you guys know that there's people that if you're not up their ass with specifics, they are going to sneak in more and more and more options.
Yeah,
as the weeks go by, and then after a while, you don't know what they're doing, and they're probably adding 20% of calories from stuff they've been sneaking in. All of a sudden their weight goes back up again. I just had one. He's at I can't figure out why his weight drops, why his weight doesn't drop. So I'm like, write down everything you eat or drink during the whole day. Just tell me. It doesn't matter how how minute you think it is. And then he's like, I see 5 cups of coffee. He has 5 cups of coffee. So I'm asking, black coffee. He's like, yeah, I used to do black coffee, but now I'm adding a little bit of skim milk.
Mm-hmm.
And then, so how much milk? Yeah, just a little bit. How much? It's like 3 to 4 ounces.
5 times
3 to 4 ounces, 5 times a day. It's like, and I don't even know what else you're doing, right?
I mean, that could be a couple hundred calories right there.
Yeah,
It's usually condiments are what get guys in trouble. I had a situation recently. A guy wasn't dropping weight, and I was like going through, and I'll just say, all right, what? Tell me everything, and I'm talking about everything down to the bubble gum you chew. I want to know everything. And it was all of these condiments and seasonings, and like a lot of the seasonings that he was using had sugar in them. You know, like some of the barbecue seasonings and stuff. And I'm like, dude, that's got sugar in it. And then all the sodium too.
Sodium, I was going to say super high sodium.
Yeah. Or they start eating pickles or something like that because there's no
that's me.
I get a whole jar of pickles.
You know what happens, you know? And then these people, it's like I had this girl, you know, she can't figure out why she has stomach issues. She doesn't know why she has stomach issues. So again, we do the whole tell me everything you eat, even with the bubble gum. You know, that's how I. And then I realized that for 45 minutes of cardio, every time she's eating a whole pack, like those those cans. They have the plastic cans from like Wrigley's we have them over here. It's like
with the gum.
Yeah. She's eating the whole container of bubble gums during a 45-minute cardio session. She eats like one, chews it a couple times until it doesn't taste as strong, eats another one, eats another one.
All that sugar alcohol.
I think there's 45
amount of air you're going to consume chewing all that gum too, like that with the sugar alcohols, like that's digestive disaster.
And there's still like 4 or 5 calories in each piece.
Yeah, and sugar alcohols like Amy said, and it's terrible. It's like I think there's 52 pieces of gum in one of those containers.
Each having 5 calories.
Yeah, but it's for 45 minutes, so that means she eats more than one a minute.
That is crazy, man. That is crazy. Yeah, people do crazy disordered shit when they're starving.
And I think too, you get like if you're overusing condiments, you get like almost taste blind to them. So you need like more and more and more of the same condiment to get the same kind of hit from it. Yeah, I mean that's why, like, I'm prep. I literally go from eating pickles to like eating like straight pickled jalapenos, and like they barely tasted hot.
Well, another one I was talking to AJ about is the guys using the Frank's Red Hot and all the sodium that's in that. He's like, that's messed a many a peak week up.
And the spray butter, I can't believe it's not butter.
Oh yeah.
Like I'll use that, but you can't. People open it and pour it all over their meals, and it's like that adds up. I mean, it says 0 calories, but a tablespoon's going to be something for sure.
Yeah, it's definitely not. Yeah, I
think if I remember correctly, the bottle has 960 calories.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
that's quite a bit.
And I think the bottle is
the
bottle is 4 ounces.
Yeah,
something like that.
Yeah, it's same thing with the 0 calorie, like the PAM and stuff that you spray for. It says no calories, but there's definitely oil in those.
Yeah.
Well, I see one serving size is like it literally says half a second of spray. I don't even know how a human being is supposed to be doing half a second.
Yeah, I saw a video on that before. Someone doing an example, and they spray a quarter second, just basically tap it, and they're like 0 calories. And then they do what we typically do, 5-10 calories, and then they showed someone spraying the hell out of the pan, and it adds up. You got to pay attention. It's like Paul says too. Consistency in your measuring is important. It's those little things add up over time.
Yeah, here it is. I can't believe it's not butter. There's actually in 5 pumps. There's a half a gram of fat. So, and there is some fat in there. So,
yeah.
Well, that's basically all it is. So, how many pumps are in the entire bottle?
Yeah, I don't know. A lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, 5 pumps is a half a gram of fat. So,
yeah. I mean, I'll use it too. I won't lie. I use that just to give the flavor. But if you're trying to like change the consistency or like enrich your 5th chicken and rice meal, it's like you just can't pour it on. I mean, you're gonna just might as well throw your progress out the window over a month's period,
Except if you're Dexter Jackson. Yeah, because now in his video, I think it's Dexter 2K7 or something it's called. You see him cook, and that's what he does. He unscrews the top of the and can't believe it's not butter, and pours it on his fish in the pan.
Oh, yeah.
Well, there are always exceptions to the rule. So here you go. The original spray, there's 1,130 servings in a bottle. Wow. So
yeah, that's over 100 grams of fat, right? For the
so
bottle.
divided by 5, that's 226. Yeah. So yeah, 113 grams of fat. Yeah. So you're right, Roman. There's close to 1,000 calories in that bottle.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you weren't. I was like, that doesn't sound right, but fucking hell, man, I didn't know that.
That's funny.
Yeah, so that
I know because Dusty Hanshaw actually called the company and asked.
That's crazy. Yeah, you do the math on that. Yeah, so let's see, by 2, that's 113 grams of fat times 9. Yeah, that's 1,017 calories in a bottle. There you go.
You just think, like, if you were doing that, like dumping that I'm sorry, I think the spray butter is gross, but like that whatever spray butter on something, like how much peanut butter you could eat instead.
Very true.
Amy's a nut butter girl.
Mm-hmm.
People make fun of me and my bland diet on prep. The only thing I do is put salt on stuff. That's it.
I'll sometimes even just drip a little water on like a baked potato just to soften it up so you're not choking it down,
Yeah.
I just got this. It's a truffle hot sauce.
Oh man, I love
Yes.
You guys have those. You guys have a better one in the US. It's with
The Melinda's. Oh, the Melinda's
Yes,
truffle hot sauce
exactly.
is so good.
I wanted to order it from the US, but it's too expensive. It's ridiculous.
So delicious. If we ever send you a care package, Roman, there'll be lots of Apple Jacks, and we'll throw in some Melinda's truffle hot sauce.
Yeah.
Get a sponsorship.
Yeah, cool.
I tried the expensive stuff, the Truff, and I like the Melinda's better.
I agree. Truff is good, but Melinda's is better. Something about just the
And it's
balance of flavors is better.
And it's 1/4 of the price.
Oh yeah, easily. It's like a tenth of the cost.
Yeah, it's pretty strong. You don't need much to really spice up the meal. Yeah, I'm still old school sriracha. Sriracha is my go-to.
My stomach is so sensitive anymore. I cannot do hot sauces. It's countdown to extinction if I do hot sauces. I can get away with it once in a blue moon, but I just have to keep shit super bland. And it's like the deeper I get into prep, the more bland I have to keep stuff. My stomach, I don't know if it's all the PEDs maybe, but my stomach gets really rotten towards the end of prep. Probably the orals fucking my stomach up.
Yeah, that'll do it.
You don't run orals anymore, do you, or Roman?
No, I got to doing only injectables. So if I run an oral, it's either injectable oxymethylone or injectable Superdrol, which I love. Injectable Superdrol. Oh, incredible.
The strength from those are awesome.
I see the look on Ryan's face. He has thoughts on it.
One bottle of the hot sauce over here is over $25 without shipping.
Holy shit.
No bueno.
That's
so what are your thoughts on the injectable Superdrol, Ryan?
Yeah, it's a lot of those injectables. I mean, the only problem with them is that usually they have to be dissolved in Guaiacol because it's they don't dissolve any other way. So the Guaiacol it has a very distinct and unique strong odor, and then still the injectables can still have a lot of pip even in the Guaiacol. I mean, it depends. So a lot of people like just don't like to use it because of the Guaiacol and having to inject every day and then the pip. But as far as potency and being able to avoid first pass through the liver is a huge benefit. So yeah, it's a great way to do it.
And what's the other one?
And then I only do it for 2 weeks before a show.
Right. Yeah. Okay. So that's fine then.
And what's the other carrier oil that's
or even 1 week?
Is it ethyl oleate?
Yeah, the one that smells like bacony, you know.
That's probably the Guaiacol. It's got a really strong odor. The ethyl oleate is not so much with the odor, but it's more, people are more prone to allergies with the ethyl oleate than with other things. So you have to really watch allergic reactions to it.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Yeah, and you know the stuff, if you have a bottle sitting around for longer, the rubber stopper.
Yeah.
Dissolves.
Will dissolve, yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know.
Oh gosh, I misread that comment, Tina.
Amy, where's your mind at?
Yeah. Like, I saw that out of the corner of my eye. I'm like, what, Tina? Tina tracks everything.
Everything. By the way, Roman, the Melinda's hot black truffle hot sauce is on sale at my grocery store right now for $4.50.
Stock up.
We'll get a case and ship it to you, Roman.
Will it make it through customs?
Yes. I can pick it up over there.
We'll have to.
It's like down the street here.
We'll have to send you some hot sauce, dude.
Yeah.
Thank you.
If there's any cereal you want to, let me know. We'll get a care package up.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that would be awesome.
Somebody's Levi's asking. Oh, go ahead.
Whatever you want in exchange.
Prima bowling.
Whatever you want in exchange.
Does
glycol smell like?
Does glycol or ethyl oleate smell like French fries? This bastard comes into the gym smelling like old French fries every day. No, I think dude needs a shower.
Yeah. So it's Guaiacol. Guaiacol does have, it will actually make your skin smell. Right? I mean, like, it's got a distinctive odor, and it will start to smell like it too. Yeah. But I don't know if French fries. Maybe you could call it French fries. I don't know. But that, in your case, it probably really does smell like French fries. But
yeah,
I think it smells more like bacony. Like, you know?
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, it's hard to explain, but once you've smelt it, you'll recognize it from then on.
So we used to make it right when we would make injectable stan oil or stanozolol, right? And
in oil.
In oil base.
That's
and
awesome.
and when we'd make it, you have to use Guaiacol or it won't dissolve, right? So when we'd use it, I've started off just having I made all my guys get like hoods and vents and everything so we could really have a sterile environment. But even in there, but otherwise they'd make it in their kitchens, right? And other than even in there, it would stink their whole houses or apartments up, so they wouldn't be able to make it. So I actually had to rent special offices just to make the stuff that we use Guaiacol for, and because it would just stink up people's houses too much to actually make stuff in there. It's
wild.
Yeah. So I had to rent out a few offices just to make our Guaiacol stuff.
Yeah, the insurance company next door is like, "What the fuck is that smell?
Yeah.
What are they doing over there?" Don't mind us, guys. We're just making injectable Winstrol over here.
Roman, do you use the Superdrol right up to show day, or do you cut it off a couple days, or do you cut off any of your injectables a couple days before the show?
No, I use it right up to show day.
I think that's a good idea.
Right up to show day. And on the morning of the show, I probably take 10 milligrams.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
With the McDonald's.
I don't think enough people do that. I think and again, it depends on the person. Like, what is your personal renin angiotensin aldosterone effect? Like, what is yours personally? But I think enough, like somebody who responds really well to these compounds, they don't bloat that much from a lot of these. I mean, listen, people can blow off of Anavar. I've seen it. I've seen people just blow up from it. But it depends on your specific effect, right? Like, how do you, and I think enough, when we say that, when we use this generalized concept that people bloat from these things, so we have to pull them before the show. Not everybody does. I've seen people take Dbol and Sustanon and look like stage ready, have veins in their abs that are so lean. Like, if you have really good genetics for this stuff, then you should run it right into the show. Like, you know, there's plenty of people who can do that, and they should.
Yeah.
I know one German pro. He takes Dianabol his whole prep. It's up to the day of the show.
I've seen people who have the genetics to do it. Like, it's everybody's different. And for some people, Dianabol would cause too much bloating and too many problems. But Dianabol gets a bad rap, but it was one of the most popular steroids for 40 years. For a reason, because people love it, and it really does a great job for a lot of people. Now, again, there's certain contexts where you wouldn't want to use it, and there's certain people who would just wouldn't want to use it at all. But yeah, I've seen that too. I've seen people be able to take Dbol and be so lean and so jacked up from it, and just forms their body perfectly that they could step on stage when taking Dbol.
I was speaking. I won't name names because we had this conversation in private, but an old pro that did pretty well. A top guy who said that he would run Test and Anadrol going into shows.
Yeah,
he would run Test, EQ, and Anadrol. That was his prep cycle. I'm like, damn, man, and he looked good.
Just like everything, it should be individual specific. We should define how do you specifically as an individual respond to these compounds. And some people should run them right into the show. So others you can't, right?
Yeah.
Because they.
Tina said she looks terrible. She pulls GH or creatine. Yeah, and I think that's a case by case.
Same with GH, right? Same with GH.
Yep.
Some guys flatten out really bad, and if you're a person that flattens out, it's better to just keep it in.
Yeah. There's some people who bloat from it though, so you have to pull it a few days before.
Yep.
Yeah. But it's so individualized.
Yeah, but then same with water even.
Yeah.
Some people drink 10 liters until the day before the show. Some people cut their water 3 days out, or only do like 1 liter.
So I think like when we have these generalized ideas of how we do things, I think that's the problem, right? Is we need to really define each person individually.
Yeah. Yeah, and you've seen it over generations. You know, this is what we've always done, and then everyone follows the trend and never really truly find out what works for them.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I know myself, Anadrol would definitely get me a puffier, more water retentive look if I used it, but Superdrol for me would be probably much more acceptable for me to run it right into a show.
Yeah, I know the word was that Jay Cutler liked Anadrol on show day.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah,
and then like someone like John Meadows used to talk about doing a bottle of Serostim, a couple bottles like the 2 days before the show, and just fill right back out. Yeah,
I think John was an Anadrol guy too, from what I recall.
And Proviron, lots of Proviron.
There's some people that run Proviron, other people that don't. I've done it with and without. I don't know that I notice a huge difference with or without.
Not everybody would. It depends on your response to, So let me give you an example with Proviron about why it is the same exact compound as DHT, right? The only difference is it's C17 alkylated. But let me give you another example of two compounds that have the same compound, but the only difference is C17 alkylation, and they react totally different in the body, right? So Dbol is the same exact compound as boldenone, right? Same exact. The only difference is the C17 alkylation. Now those two compounds react very differently in people when you use boldenone or Dbol, right? So it's the same with Proviron. Even though Proviron is is DHT with just the C17 alkylation, it doesn't always act just like DHT in people. Although I will say it's the closest. It seems to act the closest of any of the other DHT derivatives as DHT. Now it depends on the individual if they need more DHT, right? If they have if they have specific sensitivity to DHT as to whether or not it will actually be helpful. There's plenty of people take Proviron, they don't notice any difference. That person doesn't need that extra DHT, right? But there's also plenty of people who take that Proviron and it really has a dramatic effect on them. So,
well, the big difference I notice with Proviron is it keeps my eggplant working at the end of prep.
Yeah, so that's an effect of the androgen receptors inside the endothelial cells, right? It really helps for vasodilation so that you can.
Well, it definitely helps me.
Yeah.
Keeps me alive at the end of prep.
Yeah.
Usually that's the furthest thing from your mind at the end of prep. But it's funny, the better you look, the less sex drive you have. It's terrible. It's like you look great, but you want nothing to do with it.
Yeah, it's so interesting how different people are individualized, because like the more I've coached over the years, half the people it's just keep it super simple, and then there's the other group of people where such weird things make them present better.
Yeah. Have you guys talked about the SLU PP32 already?
Yep. Yeah, we talked about it some. Everybody's using it right now. Have you tried it yet, Roman?
Nope. Because I want to wait for everyone else to either die or do good.
This is the year of SLU PP332 and Retatrutide. That's what everybody's doing right now.
I'm not doing the Reta.
The worry I have about Reta and what it seems with me is it seems to flatten guys out, and I know people say that doesn't happen. I just have seen otherwise with big dudes. It seems to fucking flatten them out. I will say this:
and it blocks appetite, right?
It can, yeah, it can. It certainly can. I will say this: that running it though, that's the best my blood work has ever looked.
Yeah. I couldn't imagine a scenario, just knowing Roman, where you would actually probably benefit from it, because I'm sure you're very insulin sensitive already. All like your hunger is something you can control yourself. Well,
I mean, when you're carbing up on 2,500 grams of carbs, I don't think hunger is an issue.
Yeah. But the SLU, like I've had two people, one just recently this weekend that I prepped, that the only fat burner we used was SLU PP332, and he was shredded to the bone. Shredded.
Yeah, he was definitely shredded. Did he compete already?
Yeah, that was last night.
How'd he do?
Yeah, the guy you posted last night, right? No,
yeah, he did good. It was there was 160 people in the whole show, so it was a pretty big show. But he got second in his 50 plus, and it was close. They had him in the front and center for the whole show, and then they switched him last second. And I was like, damn. But then fourth in the 40 plus, and then fifth in the open. So
okay,
that was pretty
Not
good.
Too bad.
Yeah, and he was happy because two guys he competed against that he lost last fall to, he progressed and beat this time. So
is he going to do Masters Nationals?
We're going to just buckle down for a little bit, and then probably talk about it in the kind of winter time, plan something for the spring.
I'll say if he's in shape, it's not that far out.
Yeah. I think with a scenario with work and taking off time, it's a lot to get it. It's a lot to do. As well as
he's the one that lives here in Virginia, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's not too bad of a ride up to Pittsburgh.
Yeah. Yeah. No, but that's all, you know, what I've talked to you guys in the past too about is like, I really try to manage my guys and girls that we compete, that we prep their fatigue, and just like the CNS beating that you take during prep. And I know myself, the more I can kind of manage my getting good rest and making it to the finish line, I just always look better. I feel better. Everything goes better. Yeah. So I decided, why don't we try just to use some of these peptides and see how that works. And it just started working perfect. Didn't have to do a ton of cardio, you know, and he's relatively lean off season. I think we only went like 12 pounds difference from off season to stage.
Well, I think that's a big key too. Yeah. I mean, if you're fat at the beginning of prep, you're going to have to push harder, and it's just going to be, everything's going to be worse.
Yeah.
I think staying lean year round is the ticket. I've always done better when I've been lean going into prep.
Yeah.
Especially when you're 50.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Yeah. I just didn't want to see him limp to the finish line. You know what I mean? We've all been there. We've all taken an ass whooping trying to get to the stage.
Yeah. I mean, when you're just run down and you've had to push the diet really hard at the end, it just never yields in a good look on stage, in my experience.
Yeah.
I ended prep the same weight I started last year. That's the way to do it.
Yeah.
I can't wait.
But
Roman, I'm sure you miss it, Roman.
Yeah, so much.
I was just going to say though, quickly, to answer your question, Roman, like, I don't know if SLU might not be something that is just a need for you, to be honest. I mean, I can't really think of anything that you'd benefit from it other than more improved mitochondrial efficiency, you know, maybe a little bit more energy if you felt you needed it. But I think there might be better things.
There's definitely a notable increase in energy when you take that shit. I'm sitting here at my desk. I'll be sweating when I've tried it. You know, I haven't run in it for any extended periods of time, but I've tried it. It definitely ramps you up.
Yeah, same.
I noticed an increase in energy because I started to use a CPAP 2 weeks ago.
Nice. Oh, that'll help.
Oxygen. That'll do it too.
Fuck.
Yeah.
Normally,
oxygen and good
right
sleep.
now, I would be sleeping to get ready for my second training session, and I can't even sleep during the day anymore because I'm not tired anymore.
That's good.
It's incredible.
Mm-hmm.
Incredible. My back, I had this tight back. My traps always felt like I'm just like this all the time and never relaxed. That's going away.
That's great.
Tremendous.
Yeah, actually getting good restorative sleep.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but funny thing, I think I had the pressure set wrong because I fiddled with it a little bit, and then the pressure was too high. So I used to wake up a couple times during the night and have to really burp.
Yeah. Yeah, it'll fill your stomach up with water or air.
With air. It pumped whatever my lung couldn't, whatever my lung couldn't take would go into my stomach, apparently. So I woke up, I'm like, ugh.
I've had that same experience where it fills my stomach up, and then I had it too low, and then you feel like you're suffocating. You wake up.
Yeah, you're gonna love it. I got convinced to get mine, and it was literally a life changer for me.
I cannot fucking use it. I try and I try and I try, and I end up just ripping it off in the middle of the night, and I don't even remember doing it.
Yeah.
You know the thing that I have, it's called, do you guys have the ResMed?
Yeah, that's what I use.
That's what I have, yeah.
The brand? Yeah.
Yeah.
And the facial thing is the F20 mask, right?
Full face.
Go Google the P30.
P30. Is that full face? Is that full face, or is it like one of those nose?
No, that's like it's not even covering your nose. It goes into your nostrils.
Oh, I've seen that one. Yeah.
This is awesome. You don't even notice you have one on.
Yeah. Is it loud? Like, can you hear it?
No, it's almost completely quiet.
Nice.
and you don't even notice you have it on.
There it is.
Nice.
No, this is not the one. This is a different model.
Let's see. Is that this one?
Let me. It is.
That's the
click on
N30. Here's the P30. There it is.
This one. I think it's, but it doesn't have the thing up top. Mine comes from the front.
Oh, it goes right over the front of you.
ResMed P30. Huh.
Let me check. I get it.
Yeah, I got lucky. I put on the full face mask and I got used to it in a day. And I kind of like the whole setup, the whole big face mask.
Well, I need to order one of these.
Well, that might be part of it, Paul, is like getting something more comfortable. And then also, like, I thought for a while I had to email them about getting the pressure adjusted because it was just too much for me. So I don't know if you've tried that.
P10. Okay, so
yeah.
ResMed P10. I'm gonna look.
I tried the P30, Paul. I tried the P30, but it was never. It always leaked. That was fucking annoying, you know. So the P30 was shit for me. The P10 is awesome.
Okay, here it is.
Interesting.
There it is. It's that one.
Yes, exactly this one.
I'll have to try that one.
Incredible. I don't even notice I have it on.
I want to see a picture of him with it on.
I'm a mouth breather. That's going to be my problem.
Just gotta tape your mouth shut.
I got a deviated septum, so I don't know if that's a good idea.
As long as you can breathe through your nose. Like when your mouth is taped shut, you can still breathe through your mouth. It just keeps your mouth from opening.
And this thing fucking blows the air right through your nose.
Yeah.
You know? So
clean your sinuses up. You know what's funny? You're gonna the first time you take a nap though,
I think I have to go, guys.
All right, Roman. Take care, man.
Be good.
Hey, see you, Roman.
Amy, Paul, Dave, Ryan, it was good to see you guys again.
Good to see
Good
you.
to see you.
So good to see you.
I'm gonna say see you next week, okay?
Okay.
All right. Well, we'll see you next week, Roman.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye. Take care.
See ya.
I'll have to tell Roman his hot sauce depends on it. But when I had those my CPAP, I got so used to it that I've had a couple naps where I don't put it on or I just kind of fall asleep and I'll wake up and my throat just from snoring is like
Hurts.
Oh God, it's miserable. Yeah. Yeah. It's a little bit of a chore, CPAP. Sometimes you got to fill it every night, but I mean, it's made such a difference that it outweighs the positive and negatives for sure.
Dave, is that the tea I hear in the background?
Yeah, can you hear it?
Yeah, that's crazy, man.
Yeah, heading to Boston. Yeah,
I stayed the night at Dave's house, and the train is very loud. I don't know how he sleeps through it. It must be the CPAP.
Yeah.
Let's get some questions in. All right, we got here. Omar asked the best oblique exercises. I do not work my obliques. I don't know if you guys do or not.
I mean, I don't because I don't want to build up my obliques because they're already pretty prominent. But I mean, like oblique twist, like a weighted like ball twist. I think those are just killers for the obliques or side planks.
Yeah.
I work them into my abs, so you just kind of do, you get on your side and do side crunches while you're doing your normal abs exercises. Or they have those machines, those twist machines too.
Yeah, we have those at the gym. I used to do them when I was younger. I figured that from just the bracing from a lot of the big compound movements we do probably is enough for them. I don't know. I've never heard of a judge saying you need more oblique development.
Yeah.
Serratus, that might be something, but you can do, the 3/4 crunches, whatever you want to call them. You can do those.
Yeah.
I'll do them with cables.
Yeah. If you get the angle right, I mean, you can really get them pretty good by doing like leg raises with the twist. But I think it also depends. Like if you're trying to grow those specific muscles, incorporating some sort of weight rather than body weight, I think would be better. But find whatever's comfortable and you can truly connect. Like any other muscle, people train their abs differently than they train other muscles, and it never made sense to me.
Yeah, I mean, that's you and I have talked about this too. That's always been a pet peeve of mine. Like, guys, you'll see it on local bodybuilding shows. There's so many dudes that don't have any fucking ab development at all, like zero. Like they literally don't. They'll be 5% body fat, and it doesn't even look like they have abs because they just have no ab development. It's crazy to me, and it's odd how people don't use any sort of resistance when they're training abs. It's just another muscle in your body. Why wouldn't you train it with resistance progressively, just like you would any other body part?
Right.
Now, also, I would have to question why you're training obliques. Is it something that you need to bring up? Is it for performance? It might be different. If you're a strength athlete, obviously, you need core strength. So it's different than bodybuilding. But I would think in bodybuilding, you probably would want to keep them smaller.
Yeah. Yeah. And you might not be lean enough. Like you might see your six pack, you might see your abs, but you might not see the obliques quite yet. Some things come in differently. Like I hold my fat right in that love handle area where you're going to see.
Yeah, that's a fair point too.
Yeah.
Okay. What do we got up next here? This is from Rise 41. Success in biohacking, by the way. Check out his podcast. I've on there a few times with Todd. Does GH dosing or timing should that be considered on the sugar diet? Any concerns? Yeah, I probably wouldn't run GH on the day of high sugar.
Yeah, I mean, I don't, obviously, I don't know because this kind of diet is kind of new, but just scientifically, it just makes sense. Just what Paul said. Like, yeah, the GH is going to inhibit insulin production. So your glucose is going to have the opportunity to get kind of out of hand pretty fast. So if you, just like what Paul said.
Yeah, I mean, GH shifts you towards lipid metabolism. So I would think that's not a good idea. You could potentially run some berberine or metformin on those days. I would think maybe insulin.
Or actually take insulin.
Yeah, just take insulin. Yeah. The ultimate. Everybody asks me my favorite glucose disposal agent, and I jokingly say Humalog.
Yeah,
but
it
is very effective.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys saw any of my posts this week. I have been, and I need to do a video on it. I've been using my glucose meter to kind of see how I respond to different things. And the response that I've had to sugar-free lattes at Starbucks is insane.
Yeah, I saw that on your stories. It was pretty crazy.
Yeah, my glucose will shoot up to like 250, 300.
It shoots up pretty high with just black coffee too, though, right, Paul?
Not like that. It went up to like 140, 130, something like that. But what was really weird is on energy drinks, it doesn't budge at all.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
you think it might be like a person dependent thing. Like
it could be a stress response, or Dr. Dean commented on one of my things, and he said that it's probably, what did he say that they put in he said it's the milk they use in lattes, that they put in maltodextrin for frothing.
Oh,
yeah. I think that's what he was. I could be wrong. It was some sort of dextrin they put in it for froth as a frothing agent. I don't know if that would have any effect on it or not, but that was something he suggested.
Yeah, because you're getting a higher, faster spike with sugar-free latte than your chicken and rice.
Yeah, I ate an orange, 100 grams of carbs from chicken and rice, and 6 ounces of chicken, no fat in the meal, no added fat, I should say. And my glucose went up to like 140, 150. But I've tried with every different type of milk. I thought maybe it was the almond milk, or maybe it was the oat milk, or just regular milk. I tried all three, same result. The almond milk didn't seem to be as bad as the others, but still, it was over. My glucose would go up to 200 and then come back down.
Wow.
I'm going to try it myself.
It was.
That looks like.
Yeah, and it could have to do with me being a diabetic too. I don't know if my response to various things is not is abnormal. Here, I'll show you. Well, this one wasn't as bad as some of them, but I'll pull this one. I'll pull this one up, but you can see the huge spike. Let me pull this comment down. Hang on. There you go. But you can see when I had, and I was fasted too.
What's that time? The time range there from left to right?
It was like an hour.
Gotcha.
It was like an hour, and then it went back down. And then these two here. These were I waited a while to eat a meal. I just wanted to see what happened, and then I had like my regular breakfast, and then I had my second meal. So you can see how it responds just with a regular meal.
Mm-hmm.
So it's nowhere near that.
Interesting.
I've also, it's been wild tracking. A lot of times I'll get night sweats really bad, and I notice that I've been randomly going hypo at night. My blood sugar will get down to like 50 in the middle of the night.
Wow.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah,
I need to make a video about it. It probably, I don't know. I geek out on it. I'm sure everybody around me, all my friends and family, get tired of hearing me talk about my blood glucose, but I find it fascinating.
It's good for you to know. I mean, especially if you're having, these lattes aren't programmed, right? So you're having them when you want them. You don't want to spike your insulin at the wrong moment, at the wrong time. Not the wrong moment, but you know what I mean? If you're having these on times that you don't want that response.
And I've been walking down to the Starbucks from my house. It's maybe, I don't know, it's a 15-minute walk to the Starbucks.
Yeah,
something like that. But I walk and then I walk back, so I should be burning up stuff. I've also noticed that walking doesn't seem to have that much of an effect on my blood glucose, but lifting does. Lifting will bring it down dramatically.
Yeah, that's like, there's people that do like squats instead and see a much more rapid decrease in glucose than walking.
Yeah, so the whole walk post-meal thing to bring your glucose levels down doesn't seem to do much of anything for me.
Well, it's not just about glucose though. Walking is also about like gut motility and other parts of digestion as well.
Amy, I'm trying to justify not doing cardio.
Gotta walk.
Let me have my moment here, please.
She saw right through it, Paul.
If I eat and don't move for 4 hours.
I'm trying to say that lifting weights is better than doing cardio.
Yeah.
Let me have my fantasy.
For lowering blood glucose, perhaps.
I think I'm going to try that myself. I'm curious to see the difference between person to person. So I'll do a latte.
Yeah, and I'll say this, I've been double checking the I saw, was it Menno Hilseman? Somebody posted a study this week that showed that the glucose meters are pretty inaccurate, the continuous ones.
Mm-hmm.
I will double check it with against my blood meter, and it definitely is not as accurate as the blood meter.
Right.
Because it seems to run high, is what I've noticed, compared to the blood meter, the blood measurement, but it measures interstitial or intrastitial. I'm saying that wrong. I can't spit the word out, but you know what I'm saying. Mm-hmm. Fluid in the body versus blood. So I have noticed placement too. If you get the placement of it wrong, it fucks it up. Heat seems to mess it up. I notice after I take a hot shower, my blood sugar goes up on the meter.
Right.
Or which could also be a stress response. I don't know.
Yeah,
that's possible. But it's interesting to see all the little things that happen with it. But all right, next question here. Sorry, I don't want to bore people with my blood sugar conversation. I just find it fascinating.
I think it's interesting too.
Marissa gets tired of me talking about blood sugar.
I told you when I saw you there that you should make that a part of your post. I think it's really interesting.
Yeah, no, I need to do a video. I just would need to go through and record myself eating a bunch of random shit. I will say this, and this is what I have noticed with the blood sugar meter, and this is also a justification. Pizza doesn't raise it.
Really? That's really interesting. You should,
and I can eat a lot of pizza.
Hit a Snickers bar versus a bunch of these other things. I wonder what it would, I'd be really curious to what it does in you.
Amy's
Well,
homemade cookies.
Amy's homemade cookies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I found out what I checked my blood sugar when I was at the Arnold after I ate them, and it was like 250. It was not good. They're real.
That's not fair though, because you maybe had some high blood sugars leading up to that as well. Can't blame the cookies.
Yeah, well, I also ate like 10 of them in one setting, so there is that too. You know, that might have a factor in it. I go all in when I do things. There's no half-assing things. All right, Nick.
You might as well eat the dozen. Like, can't leave a dozen undone.
Yeah, I only eat cookies by the dozen. Nick asks, Rice, what do you want? Should treat you like? Okay, yeah. He was talking about that was a response. Sorry. All right, let me get the next one here. IDFA Danny, is there any potential issues with running low test and matching trend ratio? Let's say 200 test, 200 trend. What do you think, Ryan?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the trend is going to be its own animal, so I don't think you want to necessarily. I mean, you want enough testosterone so that you have enough estrogen, right? But I wouldn't say get carried away with doing test of requiring a test trend ratio, because trend is its own beast, and depending on your individual sensitivities to it, like you're just going to want to run trend at a certain number that works for you as an individual, not necessarily in a ratio with test.
Yeah, I was going to say that might be to most people a low test milk dosage, but that's an effective trend dosage for most people, you know.
As a follow-up, Dan said that he said, I told this story 100 times, but I had high glucose on blood work, and I found out it was coffee. We're monitored for 3 weeks. So there you go. It's not just me.
Yeah.
Dustin's one of my clients. Said, Paul, I'm at a body fat level, but I haven't lost my libido yet. That is because we have not crushed your estrogen, my friend. On contest prep, we crush estrogen. It's not I don't think it's the body fat that's the issue. I think it's the smashed estrogen. That is why your libido goes to shit at the end of contest prep.
Yeah. That's only one of the things that's going to make you feel off.
Yeah.
At the end of prep, yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, tell Dustin to send his resume. Dustin asked for a job.
Yeah, send it over, Dustin.
Oh yeah, sorry. Oh, I don't know why I said tell it. I could just said that. Yeah. Dustin,
there you go.
Send your resume. Send your resume. We're expanding so fast that we definitely need we're hiring for sure.
Amy, cookies are anabolic.
Truth.
I ate plenty of them and I was lean at the Olympia. My God, I think Amy brought like 500 cookies to the Arnold, and I ate 475 of them. And then I wonder why my A1C was up at 10.6.
Yeah.
So many cookies.
Yeah.
Oh.
My A1. That's another cool thing with the glucose meter. It shows you your predicted A1C, and it's pretty damn accurate. I don't know if you can.
5.9.
Yeah, man. Which is great for me.
What brand do you use, Paul?
It's the Freestyle Libre 3. My endocrinologist prescribed it. It's not cheap.
Yeah.
With my insurance, it was $200 for a 3-month supply of it. Without insurance, it's like $250 a month.
Oh wow.
Yeah, they're not.
What is it, like every week you put on a new monitor?
2 weeks. Two a month. You go through 2 a month.
Gotcha.
So with insurance, it works out to be about $70 a month, something like that. $60 a month. Yeah. My copay on the Manjaro, I am 6 weeks into that now. That finally seems to be having an effect. Like I went in reverse when I switched from the Retatrutide to the Manjaro. My blood sugar got worse.
Huh.
And then now it's kind of leveled back out. It's come back down. it seems to be coming up. But I definitely will say this, that the Manjaro, which is trizepatide, does not seem to have as profound of an effect on the blood glucose level as the Retatrutide does. So it's got to be the glucagon agonist action that specifically helps me. I don't know that it would be the same in everybody else, but for me, seeing how my body goes hypo in the middle of the night, my blood sugar is like this through the night. Even when I fast, it's crazy. It's all over the fucking place. I don't know if I can, let me see if I can pull up last night. I can show you guys. I don't know if you can see. Let me see if I can get it to focus. No, camera's not focusing.
You got to cover your face when you do it.
Here we go.
Oh,
There we go.
Would have worked.
See how I went hypo?
Yeah.
At 5 a.m. I woke up and had to pee, and I was all sweaty. And I'm like, damn, I'm hot, man. I got to put the fan on me. And yeah, and I looked at the meter and I was 58. I'm like, well, that's why. But it seems to correct itself. I didn't die. I woke up this morning, so
that's good.
I thought to myself, like, maybe I should go downstairs and eat some gummy bears or something. But then I was like, nah, fuck it. I'm going back to sleep.
Chase's hand reaches out from under the bed and just like bring gummy bears into your mouth.
I really wanted to hear Chase's sugar diet story, but I guess we'll have to get that on another.
I'll have to hear it next week. I'm interested to see how long he does it. I mean, doing it for a day is one thing, but
it just cracked me up that Mark Bell was so on carnivore and now he's eating sugar.
Yeah,
he's all over the place, just sugar. So from one extreme to the other, just carb cycle.
That's how the diet cults go. You got to be extreme.
Just carb cycle.
You're not over restricting and being crazy. Are you even dieting?
Swedish fish are the most anabolic fish. Yes, they are, Josh. All right, folks, I'm going to wrap this one up. I appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you, and we will see you, I guess, next week. I may or may not be on next week. I've got shit going on with there's a pro show here in town I am helping with, but we'll see.
Cool.
All right, folks, take care.